Hello everyone, welcome back to this channel and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. In today's video, let's walk through 100 English grammatical structures for better your English. So, let's get started. 100. It takes an amount of time for someone to do something. This is to say that how long or how much time has been spent on doing something. It takes approximately a few hours for me to draft this video idea into scripts. 99. Though. Though is often used as a conjunction in a sentence. However, though can be understood differently depends on the context. For example, though in the following sentence seems to intensify or clarify, and in this case, though is not a conjunction that links clauses in English. The real question, though, is, was he able to get out of that as smoothly as he got into it? 98. Should be able to. Should be able to, often used as a way to give a sincere advice for someone to do something. You should be able to train your way out of this just by sitting up straight for 30 minutes per day. 97. It wasn't until that. This structure is used to indicate that something doesn't happen before a certain point of time. It means that until a certain point of time that something is done or someone does something. It wasn't until he put on the hat that I realized he looks exactly like my grandpa. 96. That surely is, or that is surely. It's a way to confirm something with its own characteristics. That is surely one of the best videos I saw this year. 95. The fact that. Adding the fact that in a sentence is a way to reassure something. I'm just imagining the fact that he has no idea where he's going. 94. So that. We use a now phrase between so and that. There is so much effort that goes into making movies. 93. Wonder if. Wonder is often used with if to indicate a questioning sense in a sentence. I wonder if you could still find one of those mugs from the previous store. 92. To be supposed to do something. To be supposed to do something is a way to say that one reluctantly does something. It's quite unwillingly when one have to do that thing. I'm supposed to believe all that sayings from my manager are nothing. 91. Between and. After between and are nouns or noun phrases. There is a distinction between fame and infamy. 90. I'm adding this to my bucket list. My bucket list is a list of that one wants to do before his life possibly ends. Bucket list is like a lifetime wish to do list, like adventure things, events, activities, etc. I'm adding railcar touring to my bucket list because it sounds freaking awesome. 89. Had better do something. Use this structure when you want to give an advice to someone or your own self. This is mainly used in spoken English. Sometimes we see I'd better do something. Remember that D here stands for had, not would. I'd better to quit my current job and go on a short vacation. I can't take it anymore. She had better to bring along a raincoat because it might rain this afternoon. 88. How dare someone do something? How dare is a sentence structure that we use when we want to express a set of strong emotions such as shock or anger. This can be used as a question or an exclamation. For example, how dare I be born to this world just to have to hunt my own food? 87. Type 2 conditional sentence with if. This type of conditional sentence goes with a simple past tense. The grammatical structures could be if clause number 1 in simple past tense, then clause number 2 with would. The meaning of type 2 conditional sentence is to express something that is not true at the present of talking. For example, if humans didn't age, we would all work for eternity. And the truth is, humans get AIDS, and we don't or can't work for eternity or for whole life. We have to retire at a certain point of time.
86. Using superlative comparison to express high level of emotions. This is the coolest thing that I have ever seen. 85. Remind someone of something. We use remind someone to do something, but remind someone of something. Remind someone of something is a way to talk about reminiscence about a particular thing that happens. This reminds me of that one time I tried to make a pancake and it burnt. 84. The using of obviously. The use of obviously in the following sentence will make the sentence to be more apparently. The plan would obviously be to improve these and get them to a point where they are much more cost effective. 83. To be compared to something. This structure is used to make a comparison of something. There is a phrase between to be verb and compared to. For example, it's a big step forward compared to its 1950s counterpart. 82. To start to do something. We use start to do something to mean that have an intention to do something. I'm really starting to doubt future technology. 81. Only available to someone. This is the way to say that a particular thing is only available to someone. It's currently only available to well-qualified buyers. 80. To be able to do something. We use to be able to do something to express the potential, possibility, or ability to carry out an action. You might be able to buy one directly from the manufacturer for $25 or so. 79. Find it interesting that is another way to say that the interesting feeling when someone wants to express over something. I find it interesting that our life story has so much hooked details to buy into. 78. More than one expected or could expect. It is a way to say that something is surpassing the limited expectation of someone. This is significantly more unhinged than I expected. 77. Act like. Like here in this structure is a way to indicate an example or something that fits to someone's action. Actually, he acts like a cult leader. His way of speaking is loathful and hoaxing. 76. To be in the wrong line of work. When you say that someone is in the wrong line of work, that means that person is not in the work that could possibly fit his talent or character. He is an introvert and currently working as a salesperson. This guy is totally in the wrong line of work. 75. Pretty much. We use pretty much as an adverb in a sentence. Pretty much means quite or rather. I pretty much vanished from the internet after this scandalized issue. 74. So glad to do something. When we say glad to do something, it means you feel delightful to do something. So glad is a way to make it strong in sense. I've got recently married and I was so glad to take my husband's surname.
73. I've had enough of something. When you say you've had enough of something, you mean that you no longer want to have that particular thing. I've had enough of is mostly used in a negative sense. For example, I've had enough of her complaining attitude in these 10 years of marriage and I demanded for a divorce.
72. Maybe. Maybe is often used in spoken English. It appears at the beginning of a sentence. Maybe is used to give a guessing about something. Maybe someday we'll actually be equal enough to have our own honored names. 71. It sounds. It sounds is a way to express feeling or emotion when you talk. Like the example down below, we use super fun to express a strong funny feeling. It sounds super fun to disappear like that. 70. It is or was plus an adjective to know that. This is a way to express the feeling of speaker when knowing about something or a feeling on something. It was terrible to know that people remembered our mistakes years ago. 69. As long as. As long as means provided that. As long as goes with the sentence behind it. It's a linking phrase, but in English grammar, don't misunderstand it with as long as when using in a comparative sentence such as your hair is as long as mine. As long as you are happy, I see no reason to judge. 68. It's so conveniently easy. The use of conveniently in this full sentence structure of it's so conveniently easy expresses a very sensible way of talking. As for most cases, we might use it's very easy or it's so easy, but here it's so conveniently easy brings us a different sense of that particular easiness. With this new keyboard, it's so conveniently easy to handle all my Word document tasks. 67. This is as. In between the as and as, we can actually put a long phrase, and as here is also used as a linking word for the next clause. This is as a good reason to do so, as I've ever seen. 66. I have zero interest in. It's another way to say that I have no interest in doing something. If people use the word zero here in a sentence structure, it will give a stronger sense of having no interest. I have zero interest in carrying on any part of this. 65. Way better than, or far better than is the way of using comparative sense to make an emphatic meaning of something in a sentence. It basically means more than that, but in a strong sense. In spoken English, people tend to make a long stress of the word way into way to make it stronger. I like his last name way better than my maiden name.
64. The only thing I've noticed is that we use this structure basically to emphasize your point of view on something. The only thing I've noticed is that they've gone straight to cutting down on payments in order to save their costs on labors.
63. Go so far to say that. Go so far to say that means to say something controversial or sensitive in terms of judgment. This idiomatic structure often used with negative form in a sentence, and as a negative form, it does express a less sensitive and make the meaning of thing presented in a less controversial way. I'd go so far to say that it's because of the destructive attitude that might kill most of the relationships. 62. Let's not do something about the fact that. The use of Let's not is a way to express a reminding of something, and about the fact that is to add the reason to base on. Let's not delude ourselves about the fact that most of us are overworked and underpaid. 61. Can't help but. We use can't help but when we want to say that they do something out of a strong, compelling idea and that is unable to stop. We can't help but agree with him on having a trip at the end of the week. 60s. I believe. We use believe as a way to explain the trusting of your opinion is correct. I believe messing with your siblings in games is an important childhood experience.
59. I wish I knew. We use I wish I knew something to mean that I don't know that thing. This is a way to express a hypothesis that is not for real. There is something relatable between I wish I knew and another structure of if I knew something, I would do something. And truly, I don't know this thing and I can't do it. Now, I wish I knew that thing so that I could do something. For example, Joe doesn't know how to change the computer memory card. And Joe said, if I knew how to change the PC memory card, I would make a boost for my computer already. I wish I knew how to change it all.
58. Remember doing something. The use of remember followed by a verb ends with ing is to show that the speaker remembers something that he or she did in the past. The action in the verb is an action of the past. I remember telling everyone how this stopwatch works in the previous lessons. 57. The most is. Sometimes we tend to use this superlative comparison in a sentence just to make an emphatic on our own opinion about something. A noun phrase is in between the most and is here. Remember that the adjective that goes after the most must be a long adjective. The most awful disgrace of the 21st century is pornography at every level. 56. If I were, I would. This is a type 2 conditional sentence. It expresses something that is not true at present. If I were him, I would hold that card until its expiring validation. 55. The use of adverbs in structures of a sentence will make it better expressed what one person wants to say emotionally. Check it here for the use of more than 2 adverbs in this example. Honestly, they'll probably have so many applications that let's just need to throw them all away. 54. A wealth of something. A wealth of something is another way to say that a plenty of something. This is to indicate the plural form of something. I'm searching for some good gardening tools. Luckily enough, there are a wealth of them in the local area. 53. Far too long to do something. We often use the structure of it takes someone how much time to do something. This is a way to talk about an amount of time spent to do something. Far too long is a way to say that it's long time according to the speaker. Far too long is a way to bring in a complaining sense for the sentence. It took me far too long to get that piece of work done. Maybe I was not as smart as I thought. 52. My educated guess is that actually we can use different adjective in front of guess in this situation. It basically means expressing the guessing of something. My educated guess is to make the sentence sounds like very official or wit. My educated guess is that the cleaning staff left the door open while they cleaned, then the cat left one room and then got locked in ours.
52. Just as. We put an adjective in between this as and as phrase. This will make the sense of an equal comparison. They asked my worker what was wrong with the project cancellation. He was just as clueless as we were. 50. That was pretty. We use that was pretty when we want to give a descriptive idea about something. Remember, that was pretty is used to talk about something that is of the past or a past experience. She suffered from a long depression last year. That was pretty traumatic. 49. As if. As if. We use as if when we want to express the situation of something with an ironic sense. As if that wasn't bad enough, the company completely forbid anyone from taking any time off. 48. Used to. We use used to say that someone did something in the past as a habit, but they no longer do it now. I used to drink a lot of black coffee without sugar when I was working in my previous job. 47. This lends to my hypothesis that we use this structure to express your guessing idea or theory about something. This structure is mostly used in written English. The outlook of this phone is quite old. This lends to my hypothesis that this is a like-new phone. 46. I can't believe that it's already been. We use this structure to express the shocking feeling when time has been passing by. I can't believe that it's already been a decade since we first met. 45. Happened to be. Happen to be is something that occurs or be by chance, not any predetermined set-up thing. The use of would preferably expresses the thoughtful questioning mind or wondering about a matter. Would is used here. It doesn't necessarily mean the past. Would this hotel happen to be like the haunted hotel in Pennsylvania cartoon movie? 44. Pent up demand for. When we say pent up demand for something, it also means that a strong demand for a particular thing or product or service. There's a huge pent up demand for health checkups post-COVID-19. 43. I would do something if. This is a structure of conditional sentence type 2. This expresses that a conditional opinion on something. The use of past tense here is to indicate that this condition and the meeting of condition are never be true at its present of talking. I would very happily pay $1,000 for a return ticket if the price was a half of that. And this means, actually, I don't pay $1,000 for the ticket because the price is double. 42. It was hardly worth it to do something because we use this structure to say that something has very little or no worth to do, or possibly if you do it, it's just in vain because there is a reason behind that. It was hardly worth it to use my vouchers to get a good item because the price is higher than the discounting percentage. 41. Looking back on it, that was. We use looking back on it, that was, as a reminiscence about something in the past that someone did. Looking back on it, that was a bold move of my grandpa when he decided to travel across the country before his life ended. 40. It's very strange to me that the speaker uses this structure to express his or her feeling of an unreasonable thing according to his or her rationale or way of thinking. It's very strange to me that nobody cares about the new COVID-19 variants any longer. 39. We've come a long way. We've come a long way. Another structure to mention about time or the perception of time. The speaker tends to have an assumption about something in the time passing by. We've come a long way from where we began. 38. It's been a long day. We use these structures mostly with present perfect tense with indication about a long period of time that has passed by. It's been a long day without you, my friend. 37. Ain't nobody. Ain't nobody. Ain't nobody is another way to say there's nobody. Using this structure of double negative in informal English speech is often to emphasize the thing that is mentioned. Ain't nobody gonna talk about why there are so many people who are out of work in this COVID-19 pandemic. 36. It's certainly easier. This is another structure to emphasize what you wanna say. It's certainly easier to keep your looks up when you have hundreds of millions and the best medical care at your disposal. 35. It's not due to. We use due to instead of because of in many cases. It's not all due to indicates that it's not all about something. His marriage is on the verge of breaking. It's not all due to money though. 34. I bet this structure is used as a confirmation on someone's own idea or guessing. I bet they look their ages in person, regardless of what work they have done. 33. I just wanted to point out that it's a way to show people your firm opinion on something. Even when it is in the past tense, the clause after it is in present tense. It showed here that the speaker already have an understanding about that he wants to point out. I just wanted to point out that we don't need a lot of money to lead a happy life. 32. It doesn't matter if. It doesn't matter if. Use this to express regardless of the thing that is mentioned. It doesn't matter if you know each other for a few days or for a few years. A successful marriage really takes a lot of hard work. 31. Never in all my. Use these structures to emphasize a particular message coming after that. This structure mostly goes with simple perfect tense. Never in all my years on earth have I seen something weird like this. This also means that I haven't seen something weird like this in all my years of life. 13. There's a difference between something and something else. We use these sentence structures to express a clarification of something over something else. There's a difference between the Delta variant and the new Omicron one. 29. You should do something because. We use these structures to give out a piece of advice with a reason behind it to back it up. You should think it's partially because it never stops being shocking to people who don't have to deal with it. 28. This only happens when. We use this structure to say that something only happens due to a particular reason. The part of the sentence behind when is what importantly mentioned. This only happens when the bill is significantly large, like more than $100,000. 27. Using adverbs to emphasize things in their texts. Some of those adverbs are absolutely, extremely, really, highly, truly, etc. It is absolutely designed to trap those who has high desire of getting rich quick overnight. 26. Chances are. You use chances are when you want to express your guessing of something out of a context.
chances are they didn't pay a dime of that bill. 25. I wonder how. I wonder how. Use this phrase in a sentence when you want to express your wondering opinion. I wonder how that little cat can climb so high up to the top of the tree. 24. As far as I know. As far as I know. We use as far as I know to express one's understanding or information about something. As far as I know, the new project has been cancelled. 23. It's highly recommended that. This sentence structure is used when you want to recommend someone to do something. Use this structure when you want to give someone an advice on something. It is mostly used in written English. It's highly recommended that medical treatment should be in prescription for heavy depression symptoms. 22. It's worth nothing that. It's worth nothing that. You use it's worth nothing that when you want to say here is something to note or pay attention to. In other words, you can understand these structures as notice that or note that. It's worth nothing that a placebo is a measurably effective form of treatment. It's actually better than nothing. 21. Just because doesn't mean. Use this structure to express that something has its own meanings and that something appears to be like this, but it doesn't mean that or so. Just because she is in the video doesn't necessarily mean she is the one who edits the video. 20. It's been so long that. We use this structure to emphasize that it has been a long time that someone do something or that something could have been done. It's been so long that I only remember the name of my high school friends. 19. The more. The more. Use this structure to make two clauses of a sentence that drives the meaning of comparative sense. The more you spend on the wedding, the more likely you are to divorce. 18. To be in no rush to do something. Use this structure when you want to say that you're not in a hurry to do something. We're in no rush to get hitched. He is in no rush to finish this project. 17. To be able to do something. Be able to do something indicates the ability of a person in carrying out actions on something. I feel relieved and happy to be able to move on after the depression. 16. Drive somebody nut. The structure of drive somebody nut in English is a beautiful lesson. Drive somebody nut means make someone crazy about something. To emphasize the level of nuts, people can add in adverbs to make it more attractive. It truly drives me nuts, knowing that if she left me, I could possibly lose my mind. 15. Use these sentence structures to say that something didn't come out as what you might expect. I thought the movie was funny, but it's so boring. I thought it was just a myth. 14. It was plus an adjective for somebody to do something. This structure is used to say that what is a possible cause for someone to do something. It was cringe for me to see him walking on all those worms. 13. A shortage of. A shortage of. A shortage of is used as a quantitative phrase in a sentence. It is followed by a plural noun. A shortage of can be replaced by a lack of as well. There is a shortage of something is to inform the lack of a particular thing that will probably result in troubles.
There's a shortage of lorry drivers and it's causing a bunch of problems. 12. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. This structure is often used in spoken English when the speaker wants to confirm his or her opinion about something. In this structure, there are times that is used after pretty sure. So it becomes I'm pretty sure that, and then adding a clause after it. I'm pretty sure he is a con man, but why so many people believe in him? I'm pretty sure that she will come tomorrow. 11. Using how to express the thing that is in question. This way, how is used like how come. How come tends to express the question in mind of a person or the wonders of a person. How are there no birds here? How come your English is so good? 10. I don't know why, but we tend to use this structure when expressing something that we feel so concerned or having worries about that thing. I don't know why, but this actually scared me. 9. This is how. This is how. This structure can be used in a various way. For example, we can make it to this is how someone do something or this is how something get done. The using of how often express the method or way that something is done or the way someone do something. Joe put all the bread on the dining table and this is how we all get ants. 8. It's painful to do something. This is used when you want to express the feeling of pain, being hurt, or irritated with something. To add the emphatic level of emotions, we can add in some adverbs such as really, extremely before the word painful. It's really painful to see my loved one suffering from an accident. 7. What, mean, when. We use this structure to express our meanings of something that we possibly have in our minds when mentioning about something. A big modernized house is what she means when she says she wants the happiness. He has a penthouse, some luxurious cars, and more valuable stuff. So this is what people mean when they say he is a successful man. 6. Would feel to plus an adjective to do something. Normally, when we use the structure to plus an adjective to do something, it indicates that the doer of the action doesn't want to do that particular thing, or that particular thing is hard to do then. Now, in the structure, adds more an emphasis of the possible feeling when talking about doing something. I would feel too uncomfortable to walk on that full pebble road. My little cat would feel too frightened to go near the new dog that we've got. 5. What it looks like. What it looks like. You use this phrase to describe something looks like what. It's very commonly used in spoken English. Many people have a little mistake when using how it looks like as what it looks like. Notice that you use what it looks like when you want a description of something. And the correct phrase used with how is how it or something look. For example, this is what it looks like when someone becomes furious with their bad day. A descriptive facial expressions of anger or irritation showed. You're looking at a picture your kid's drawing and you said, this is what it looks like when you guys mess this house up. 4. Want to know if. Want to know if. This structure is used to explain a request for information. You can use it when you want to inquire some information, but you don't know if it might fit the condition in a situation. She wants to know if she can come in and have a cup of tea together with us. Also, this structure can express a request that might be ended in the past or still carrying on or have its effects at present. I've always wanted to know if she could possibly send me an email on that report. 3. happened to be or to do something. Happened to be or to do something. This is a less emphatic way to talk about something. If you happen to do something, you just do it by chance or not on purpose. They happened to meet each other again at a conference yesterday. I am a housewife and I happen to be obsessed with making sweet cakes these days. 2. Ain't got nothing but. Ain't got nothing but. This is an informal way of saying haven't got anything. This structure is widely used in informal English speech. Ain't got nothing is double negative structure and it is used as a way to emphasize something. He ain't got nothing but a $2 million home. Sometimes people can replace got by had without changing its meaning of the structure. For example, she ain't had nothing but noodles left in her fridge. 1. Nothing but. We use nothing but when we want to emphasize something and only that thing. In other words, the structure of nothing but is another way to emphatically say only. Nothing can be used with both noun or verb, and here are some examples. I have done nothing but keep editing this video for weeks. We had nothing but dusty clothes when leaving home.